and people would say, oh, bad economy. There's many reasons people give for why this happen. But another major reason why you're here is to give us proper perspective. The recent situation we had along the Omagwa axis involved your ADC. And the story, you sent me videos of how your men and yourself were able to, promptly intervene, and also the bravery of your ADC, I think, played a major role in the success that was recorded in the freedom of not just herself, but also 3 others, 2 other women and a man, including a pregnant woman. So give us an insight into what happened and how it happened. When did you get the news? What happened?
Good morning, listeners. Please, that very day on Saturday, after we have our training on Saturday, and she was going back to Owerri. She bought a vehicle from a greeter. It was late in the evening. I checked my WhatsApp. I made a voice call. Morning, sir. Oga, we are kidnapped too. And as I'm talking to you, I'm inside the forest. Once I had it, I called. There was no way he responded. I called, no way. Later, when she dropped another message that she escaped from them, she and 3 others, that she was telling them, I'm going to escape. The people say, how will you escape? He said, watch, I'm trained. If you want to join me, better join me. Let's go. They now escaped. They chased them. They shot at them. There was no way. And that is how she escaped into the forest. And from there is no way for her to come out. The only thing they can do is for her to move those men with her through the forest. Till the following day morning, I called again. Around 5 a.m. That Saturday, this thing happened. I called the DPO of Omagwa station. She said that she's aware that it's not our location. I said, okay, I should go to Ishokwe. The following day morning, on Sunday morning, I saw into action, me and my men. We now entered Ishokwe. We went to report ourselves at the area command, down to Ishokwe division. The DPO ordered 2 men to take me to the point of scene, and we went there. We saw various bullets. Immediately, and I said, okay, men, how do we do? Now enter into the forest, start search.
Wait, bullets at the scene, was it on the road when they were first kidnapped?
Yes.
Okay.
Close to 15 bullets or more than.
So meaning the kidnapper shot into the air rapidly, just to scare them, and then
rapidly.
Okay.
And she was telling me that very day that they were about 20 in number, including the
men that came to kidnap.
No, the that came
kidnapped.
The people that were kidnapped.
Okay.
And I said, okay, let's move. We start searching from all the Omawa bush down to Siat. Within Omawa, that is where we saw them inside the bush. And they were all tired, including the pregnant women. And so, to God be the glory. We got them out. And they were sick. That was about 2-3.
Were you accompanied by the police in this search?
No, except my men.
So the officers that were given to you, that followed you to the location, did they not go in with you for the search?
No. We took them back to their division. As soon as we dropped them back in their division, we went for search.
So they only came to show you
the place where the incident happened.
What's the police within that jurisdiction? Were they not aware of that a kidnapping had occurred and had information as where it has occurred, and the fact that you even have somebody that was part of this incident, that you can at least have an idea of where they were and perhaps galvanize their men and follow in the search?
No, there was when I got there, they told me that moment when the thing occurred, that the soldiers, the police came in.
That was what you were told at the station?
Yeah, that's Saturday. Even though the people at that junction where the custom is, on our junction, they told me, because I got information, we work with information. And immediately when I dropped them back, we went into search.
What was the information they gave you?
They told me that at that Omaha Road, that junction, close to Deeper Life, or the close to Deeper Life campground, and after. But where this thing happened, immediately after Deeper Life, the first U-turn, that junction, that is where the thing.
So the people told you that police officers came there on Saturday when it happened.
Yeah.
But they did not go into the bush.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that, because they said they just came in and they left with the soldiers. They came, But at the end of the thing, we were able to release 10, the victims.
That was before your men went into the bush.
Yeah.
They got 10 of the victims
10,
out.
yeah.
Okay.
Because the DPO even told me. The DPO told me himself. And when I entered it, when we were on search, we got to our community. We met one of the OSPAC. When I said, look, we want to know where the end
exit of this bush is.
Bush. And they took us in. Even though inside the forest we were shouting, we were calling their names, especially my ADC. There was no response. He now left. He now said we should take him back. We now took him back to his place. And we start searching. God so kind. When I called our number, he went through and I said, okay, we are at the end point. We don't know where to come out. And that's okay. Don't worry. We're now asking our men from the office using location to know a particular area. Okay,
so like she had a location on her phone.
Yeah,
Okay.
When we called her, I said, put on your location. And somebody in the system
was tracking it then.
Tracking her. And then we start moving gradually inside the forest down to Omarelu. I think that side is Omarelu. Within the Seat Aziz, inside the forest. And when we came out, the 3 persons, because they are sick, and I cannot bring them back to Port Harcourt. You know, that phobia.
Yes,
is in there. That fear is in there.
Post-traumatic stress.
And most of them, they've passed a lot of stress. No water, no food inside the forest. They slept inside the forest. And we were able to bring them out and ask them to go and treat themselves. And immediately when we saw them, I called the DPOs that we were able to release the 4. We searched the bush, even though for us to get others. No way.
So that means at the end of the day, about 14 people were rescued, or 15.
If you add
if you add it with the 10 that
is
14. So, and then she said there were about 20, so 6 people were unaccounted for.
Even though I was told that you even shot the driver on his leg that very day.
Now, sorry to interrupt, but this is where I think it gets a lot interesting. 10 were released. Now people were asking what other efforts were being made. So technically, if you had not been as positive as you were, and to say, okay, we're still going to go, the possibility for many people have been that, that means we might not have even known that the fate of this other 4. What gave you that extra push to say, they've seen 10, and perhaps this might be like that's it? But what made you say we are still going to go regardless?
Fact is, we the man who were trained, and in our organization we have the various departments. We have the rescue team, and one involved too was my ADC.
So it gave you extra zeal.
Yeah. We were there and we said we will comb all the bush to make sure we leave. Even though the men, the kidnappers, we try to search if we can get any of them arrested, but no way. But I know very soon they all be trapped.
All of this that you did, were you armed?
We are not armed.
And you didn't have any police officer escorting you?
No,
but this is it. Were the police not aware that some more people were still in that bush and you had a way of tracking those people, and this is what you want to do? Were they not aware to say, okay, we know that you don't carry arms, let's have men that will join you in this?
Nobody.
Wow. All right. We would come to it. I would also come to Mr. Victor here. He has a story to share as well. But quickly, let me just remind the listener, get online. The question we're asking is whether the man o' war now should be engaged along with other paramilitary group. And people have been confused. Is the man o' war a paramilitary group?
Yes.
Or okay? Because from the school days, we just used to think it was a voluntary group, like Girls Guide, Boys Brigade, and the rest of them. So it's a paramilitary group.
The man o' war is a paramilitary group, but not paid. A kind of voluntary.
Okay, a voluntary paramilitary group.
Yeah.
Because I know in the NYC as well, you have the man o' war people, and then they do man o' war drills and all of those.
Yeah.
But you're not paid by the government or anybody.
No, that one we are paid.
No, I mean,
no.
Man o' war.
No.
You're not being paid. So how do you go? This particular, I would call it mission now that you went on.
Yeah.
How was it financed? The resources, the equipment that you have, how do you get them?
Within ourselves, we contributed to make sure we carry out we financed ourselves every day. Even though the vehicles we use, the bikes we use, was financed by the organization, because we realized little tokens we contribute within ourselves. That is what we use in finance.
So we've not held the conversation because, like I said, the question is, should we now consider the Manowar and other paramilitary groups to be involved in working with the police and the army and the rest of them to tackle this problem of kidnapping that we have ongoing? And then they also be given the adequate support needed. The kidnapping seems to be something that's now taking a serious toll on our everyday lives. People are scared to just going out now. You have to be extra cautious. You have to look at the vehicle you're boarding. You have to look at the keke you're entering. You have to look at everything. It's almost like going rampant. And people would say, we expect every hand now to be on deck. Has there been conversations as to how perhaps the Manowar can be better funded and financed or empowered to help the police in performing this duty? To think that you did what you did without guns is something that should really even be commended.
Nothing. Even if you ask the police, they will tell you we don't have arms. It's not good with arms. The only thing we have is just battens. That very day.
So, were you not worried that if you came in contact with these guys that had guns, what were you going to do?
You know, by His grace, we are trained mainly on obstacles, assaults, and we are all trained about the land training. We know we have tactics of disarming them. We have various tactics.
So physical combat is something that you've trained in.
Yeah. You know, our training center is here. We have a training center here and all over the country, about 10 training centers. We go for courses, we train on mountaineering and because that is why we have different departments. Like this, my deputy operation is in charge of rescue. Most of this operation is in its own department.
So Oga Deputy, as in charge of rescue, you were involved in this particular assignment largely, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to come to you, Mr. Victor, the Deputy Commander, because you were also sharing a story with me and the concerns that we should have, certain tips that should also be taken. We're going to get into all of that when we return after a commercial. On Facebook, it is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. We would need you to go there and drop your comments. Let us know what you think. Should the Manowar be involved in this? Should they be working with the police? Should the government consider empowering them? We're already saying that the police is not it's short-staffed and ill-equipped to do their job. Well, the Manowar seem to have achieved a certain feat with little or nothing done to empower them. So should we now consider bringing these various bodies together and providing certain level of resources and see what the result would be? Tell us what you think on Facebook and WhatsApp. We'll be back after the commercial.
He done of trading himself. James, hello.
Susan,
Here in River State with us in the studio. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. The morning crossfire conversation continues, and we've been hearing the commander's account of how we were able to rescue some of the victims of kidnapping along the Omagwa axis that happened sometime last week, and this experience and encounter with how the police also were involved in the whole operation. And what needs to be done is the question that we should be asking. And we've already asked before we went on the commercial. Now, what is next for the man of war? Should we begin to look at how we can possibly integrate them into the system to get them involved, work with the police, form a collaboration, empower the man of war even more so that we see what more can be done after seeing what they've been able to accomplish with the little or next to nothing that they have. Before we open the phone lines and you ask your questions and make your contributions, remember to get on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. The WhatsApp number is 0809 030 6416. Let's also get your thoughts. You've been following the conversation, I'm sure, and you've been listening to what the commander has to say. I'll still come back to you, Mr. Kolawole. Now, this is, you have said quite a few things. Now, the bullets that were picked, did the police, are you aware if the police opened any investigation into understanding, or I know that they trace bullets. I know that you can trace bullets. I mean, that's a knowledge that we know that this, when you see bullets from police, from military, they are traceable. You can tell because they carry numbers. I know that these bullets carry certain numbers. You can trace to the source of where they produced them, who got them, and then were you informed about any sort of investigation that perhaps the police are looking at carrying out to get to the tail of this, or did it seem like this was the end? That's it, we're done?
No, that very day when we picked the bullet, we wanted to bring it. The policeman that was detailed with us to go to take us to the place where the incident happened.
Yes.
And I said we should not, even though that very day said we should not snap the bullets.
Why?
Whether do we know whether it was the time police came? You understand?
Okay, if the bullets that could have been the one that police came
used,
there and you and did the police meet anybody there to shoot? Did the people you spoke with, because you said you spoke to some people, when they came there, did they shoot? Did the people confirm to you if the police shot at anybody or they
exchanged? They didn't tell me whether they shot that very day, but they just said they came in for rescue.
All right.
You understand? And the bullet that very day, I think the bullet name is AP.
All of them?
Yeah.
How many bullets did you?
Close to 15.
And all the 15 AP. So if the police was there and then the kidnappers had shot earlier and then the police came there and also shot, then the possibility would be you would see different shells.
Yeah. This
was the same shells throughout.
Even though my ADC told me that the kidnappers shot rapidly that very day, and I asked her, I said, how many of them, if you can imagine? He said that moment that they were not themselves again because our uniform is inside our bag.
And she didn't want them to see.
Yeah, and if they see the uniform, the first thing they will do, they will kill her. You understand? And I was asking like how many rifles. He said she can recognize 2 persons with rifles that they shoot rapidly that very day. And at the junction, on our junction, those people selling fuel, kai, they now said that very day it was so tough that they all ran away from that junction.
The AP bullet, what is the peculiarity? Is the AP bullet as that bullet that used by police officers?
We will ask them later.
Okay, because we need to. We don't. As Rivers people will try to get the information. Many people don't know, are not skilled in that area. They don't work in, and they wouldn't know what AP means or AP bullets are. Perhaps we would have to find out, like you have said. But now going forward, what is the man of war? What is next for the man of war? I mean, you've been relatively quiet. I think if not for this particular incident now, people are like, oh, man of war day, River State. I'm sure many people began saying that. So what is next for the man of war?
What we need, the man of war is in River State, right, from 1977. Now, as it is, what we need to support the government, because we want to support the government of River State, because our motto is build the man, build the community. We want the government to come to our aid. We are ever ready to work with them. And we need empowerment. If government can bring us close, we are ever ready to work. to stop this crime. Not only kidnapping issue. We have a lot of criminal acts in various communities. Where the manpower we base in community, just like the community policing. And if we want to stop this menace, we need to use those community policing. Because the policeman that is coming to that community does not know the community like those residing in that community. If you watch the day the thing happened, the Ospac, whether it's the Ospac 2IC, was telling me we are the one, they follow the back to chase the kidnappers. They open fire to each other before they can get that 10. You get my point? We are the community base. Government should come into our head so that we at the community we know the look and cry of that community, so that we can stop this crime. It's becoming too much. That very day I was told they kidnap twice a day, especially that road.
Two kidnapped
twice, a day. The people within that axis
were telling you that.
Telling me, and I said, God, how do we manage it?
Let's hear from your deputy, Mr. Victor. We have plenty of checkpoints. In fact, on that road, that airport access, I'd received a call from some officials in the airport also complaining about how that is affecting, the business at the airport. Yes. And for some reason, some of them didn't want to get on air to express what they've seen and experienced and what's happening. I remember when it happened, the police had said after the 10 people were released, we felt like, okay, people were thanking the police for swinging into action. But now we're asking the questions about the other 6. Are the police still investigating or still chasing, or that was the end after the 10? Why do you think this is persisting? And beyond that, you've also had a personal experience as well. So what exactly would you say about this situation?
Yeah, if you hear me, this kidnapping issue, I don't know how to describe it, but I think I will not say it's poverty. I don't know how to classify it. But you see, the men on the streets or the boys on the streets don't want to think outside the box on how to make money. They want just to go on the way, kidnap, and leave. And you know what happened? Happened to me after she was kidnapped. They were moving on along the way.
This is your own experience, your relative.
They moved along the way. They went through 2 police checkpoints in a tinted vehicle. Nobody should say, okay. None of the officers says, okay, stop this vehicle. Let's see who's inside the vehicle. Let's see or do a proper stop and search. It was asked, how are you? They passed.
This was what she was telling you, yes. your relative.
Yes, they passed 2 checkpoints. Nobody said stop and search. So the police need to do more work on the stop and search. Probably from that 6-7. That is not the number of operator. That's 6-7. That time is always their time they strike. And once they leave, I was asking myself, how can they pass these 2 checkpoints? And probably on the way, nobody stopped them, nothing. To their own den where they finally handed over them to the next people to go on with. Oh,
the people that kidnapped her were handed her to another set of people.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You see, syndicates, they operate as a group. Are you getting me? But you see, the whole thing is that anywhere you live, there are people around that environment that watches over you. That say, okay, this person, they have informants everywhere. They have informants around the street where you belong. They have informants in the whole clubs. They go to clubs, they see people.
But the ones that happened, for instance, to your colleague.
Yes.
You can't say informants. No. That almost felt like they came to the road and...
Those ones are calculated operation they do on the road. Let's carry and go. Whatever we can get.
Okay, but for your relative, you believe it could have been an informal situation.
Yes, it's an situation.
Where was she kidnapped?
At Rimigbo Axis.
Oh. And that's just not very far from here. So going forward, what suggestions? Because you also mentioned, where you were recounting her testimony, you also mentioned the fact that she said you organ harvesting was also happening in the camp where they took her to. They were harvesting the organs of people, and people were calling in and demanding for parts, and then they were selling and doing all of killing people and doing all of that. Those. How then do we track this or solve this problem? What suggestions would you give from what you have seen?
For me, I would suggest to the River State government they should get a well-trained task force or a joint operation.
But we have the police. Some people,
but these people should. I know they had the anti-kidnapping squad. They're not everywhere. For me, they're not everywhere. They're not widespread in River State. You have like a counter task force that can be placed on strategic areas, just like the C4I. Then whatever happens when you call, we'll have a response. When they call, they swing into action and do more of stop and search. Because without that, then I don't know what we can do. And the worst thing is that they stay along the highway. That's bushes in that Alu Omagwa area. That is where they are. That bush is there.
But why? It brings us to also even asking the local government chairman in this local government, those bushes that are along here, why not clear them so that people, at least we can see who is coming from where they are coming from? Sometimes I go through that road and I look at the bushes. In fact, from the flyover, if you look down, when the street lights are not on, you will be scared. Then imagine what it's like, people inside. And in those areas, they say we have too much of ungoverned space in the country, and it's also because the kidnapping doesn't seem to be peculiar to Rivers State. I mean, in Abuja, we are hearing what's happening in the FCT. Yes,
Enugu to Lokoja is happening. But this is our home. We need to protect our home.
All right, let's open the phone lines, take a few calls, and take some messages. We'll come back to you, Commander. There's still, I think there's still more you need to share with us with regards to the situation and the operation that led to the release of your colleague and others. 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. And that reminds me, the shells that were recovered, they were handed over to the police?
Yeah.
Okay, they've been given to the police.
Yeah.
And there's not been any, you've not followed up to perhaps find out, okay, what is the...
I've not followed. The area commander there asked me to come so that we can talk. And the SO of the kidnapping unit in the Minokro has called me. But since then, I was busy. Let me just say I'm busy. Running around to make sure we put things in place. But by the grace of God, after today, I'll be with them.
Because I also want to understand, perhaps you find out from them when you meet them, why men were not with you guys when you went into that bush, knowing that you are not armed, and the police are the ones that are allowed to carry guns, and they know that you have somebody who has contacted you that is in the bush, and nobody was sent with you to go into the bush to recover those people. As risky as people say it is, it's the job that you signed up for. Okay. Well, and you can't blame the men. The men will have to wait for Oga to give order. So technically, you're saying there was no order. There was nothing that you know of about that was said.
The order was take them to the location.
The location. 2 men were given to you.
And immediately we saw the police. They said we should take them back to their division. And we went and dropped them. We'll not come back again and strategize. How do we do it?
On your own?
Yes. This man take this place. This man take this place. And when we go around, we will now meet at the middle of the
just for the purposes of precision, how many men did you employ for this task?
This last one.
Yes, to rescue you.
Together we are just 18.
18 of you.
Yes.
And were able to rescue your colleague and 3 others.
What we did was 9 this way, 9 this way. When we get to another bush, we say 5 this way, 4 this way. That is how we share ourselves. At the end, this will be coming this way from the north, this one coming from
where
south.
You meet.
We now meet at the middle.
Okay. Letambari in Bori, good morning to you. Letambari, good morning.
Good morning, Ishimi Andrew.
You're welcome,
Good
Letambari.
morning to your guests in the studio. Yes, I really appreciate their efforts and the courage they have so far to summon for this rescue. I think this is the kind of gesture the Rivers people expect from mostly the law enforcement agency. But however, this good news is coming from the paramilitary, or should I say the voluntary organization or whatever. Yeah. Yes, I appreciate. But my concern is this: now that you have designed a means of tracking this set of deadly people in the states, my fear is that as the presenter is saying, that what do we need to do to ensure that the manual war is part and parcel of government to also play their own role in the security aspect. Now, my fear is that, the civil defense were also doing the same thing, and they also incorporated them into the service, and they are not doing. Now, you see that the civil defense have now started compromising like the police. They started doing the same thing the police are doing. So I want to ask, now that you are with this case and you are so courageous and determined that you can work with the state government to bring some of these perpetrators to the book, are you not going to, because now that you've not gotten the opportunity, you're saying you'll be given the opportunity. Now, are you sure that if you're given this opportunity, you will not have a middle compromise, started changing your tactics and giving unnecessary complaints? Because these guys that are doing this thing, they are connected to the politicians. And there are cases where you would like to involve in, and the politicians will come in and try to shun you down. How are you going to do with all this?
All right, opportunity? All right, thank you. Let's go to George in Buguma. We'll get response. We'll just take a few calls first. George, good morning.
Yes, Andrew. I think concerning this interesting insecurity situation within the Omagua airport area, I think I should advise that the airport authority and its management to form a collabo, see how they can build a synergy relationship with the local government of, I think, the local government and the local government chairman. See how they can mount surveillance, not only within the airport and its environment, but they should go as far as mount extensive surveillance within that area, knowing fully well that any insecurity within that airport area will affect their business. Now, as I speak to you, there are so many Rivers people and Nigerians who are supposed to apply that route. Some apply to come to the airport, what else to other parts of the world, and some are running on the road to Imo State and other areas and neighboring states and villages. But as I speak to you, even myself, that road used to be my major road that I used to apply. When you are going, you see, practically you see the airport.
All right, George. I think your point has been made, George. The local government chairman, they should collaborate with the security operatives and get to work. Thank you. Let's go to Okrika. Muriel, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Muriel.
We now see that on first hand, we have seen how the police react to these kidnap cases. They followed them to the spot. They saw that bullets on the floor. Instead of picking those bullets, tracking them to evidence, they have intelligence units. Rather, they even advised them to leave those bullets, and they went back to the stations. Now, Canada, I will advise that even if the government wants to engage these manual war guys, they should be independent of themselves. They should not carry them and near the police, because the police will corrupt them. They should arm them, and they should give them one sole purpose: fight crime and only. Then we should leave the police to carry their weapons, stand at the junctions, and continue to collect their bribe, because that's what they're good at. Thank you so much.
All right, Mira, but then I need to defer there. The police is not good at collecting bribe, please. That's not what they are good at. Yes, you have some officers who could do that along the road. It does not mean that that's what the police stands for. It's not. And you also heard the commander here, and I think we should also acknowledge that 10 people were first released or rescued, and it took the effort of the police. Now, these 10 people, we don't know how they were rescued because... I mean, if 10 people were rescued, I will try to understand the other people. Where did you meet them? And we don't have all of those details. We don't know. We can't tell. But what we know at the end was the police had said 10 people were rescued. And before the man of war insisted on going forward to search for the remaining, their colleague especially, that led to the rescue of others that were with her. So please, let's also not just conclude and say the police, they are only good for that. Ken in Obimini, good morning.
Good morning, you hear me?
All right, go ahead.
And good morning to your question, Tuesday.
Good morning.
My own is a kind of advice. I would have liked the government to look into manual war activities, civil defense activities, and also empower the local securities in the various communities, which we popularly call the OSPAC, to also integrate them into paramilitary agency, because these are the organizations now, or the agencies now that are ready to make sure that they will at least make this insecurity to be in a final stage. Let me put it that way, because the people we are hoping on, the agencies, the authorities we are hoping on, are gradually failing us. Imagine we are 8 persons. We go and rescue people and all that. So in my own opinion, let there be a kind of integration between this paramilitary and the one we call local vigilante.
All right, Ken.
According to people that they don't have license, they don't have any authority to do one thing or the other, right, in order to make sure they will get the criminals.
Let's go to Oyigbo now. Let's hear from Chizuru quickly before we come back to my guest and wrap up. Chizuru, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm interested in what happens in HA Road. I think I am a victim. I use that road. They do extort money, youth. Yes, there are OSPAC. OSPAC will ask you anything for the boys. If you have, you go get, you give. But when you are navigating outside the main road to get yourself connected to the main road, you see youth blocking the road, and you must pay. Are you with me?
Yes.
You must pay. I use that road. I drive through that road.
So the youths in that area now are beginning to use that as a means to extort?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chizuru, for bringing that up. I'm sure security agencies are listening and they know. We're out of time, but quickly, let's come to you, Commander. As you respond to the questions in under 2 minutes, okay. Have there been considerations to see how the man of war can be involved in the training of police officers when they recruit them? Like, I know in the NYC camp, for instance, you have the man of war present, and you train corps members. I went through that training. I loved it. The obstacles and all of that. Is that something that should be considered for police officers, new recruits? Is the man of war part of?
The police, they have their way of recruitment. And if we have the senior cadre of police who attend our trainings, like from police inspector cadet and above, they attend manual training. And the same thing, those in NDAs attend manual training, especially in Jos, where we have the mountains. You understand the point? I just want the police.
What about the constables, the corporals, or is that what they call it?
That is why
those ones don't, because the ones that are on the road. Let's use that to explain it so people understand.
The ones in the road.
They don't undergo manual training.
No. And that is why they'll tell you what is manual. We do have fracas together, but we manage ourselves. You understand? But if you get to their seniors who are 10, are you okay, please allow them to go. You understand? And want the government, the police officers, the senior officers to advise them. Because everybody needs training and retraining. We need training and retraining so that we can call ourselves back home.
Okay.
So that we can call ourselves back home. Because somebody who passed through the training and the person who passed through police training, a lot of training, not only police.
Just hold the thoughts there. Let's take a short commercial. We'll conclude on
when I win this Ogbonge 250k for 9 mobile promo, I go chop life so take
250k. And importantly, Jude is in the studio as well. Hello, Jude.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to see the commander once again.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome.
All right, as we attempt to wrap up, please, Commander, you were saying something. Quickly, just wrap that up in 1 minute.
Okay.
What would be the conclusion to this?
I want to assure the public we are not going to relent. We are not going to relent. And just like what Mr. Tambari said, we are not going to be corrupt. Such a thing will not happen because we are trained and retrained. And if our man messed up, immediately we'll publicize it and let the world know what he has done. Because our own, we believe no retreat, no surrender. But we must do the job as we're ordered.
All right. Because we're really looking forward to a collaboration between the police and the man of war and other paramilitary groups and security agencies so that we can put an end to the problem of kidnapping. Jude, I don't know if you've been kidnapped before.
Well, by my 7-year-old cousin years ago,
No, you can defend yourself in that case.
Have you tried escaping from children who say you should buy them chocolates? It's a very difficult thing to do.
I don't think there's a man of war training for that. Or is there a man of war training to escape that one? All right, Jude is here for Hello Port Harcourt. What are we expecting?
Well, it's going to be another Friday where we just ease off, put our head down, dance.
We need it.
And who knows? Maybe I will get somebody hooked up today.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, the deputy commander wants to say something.
Yeah.
A few seconds.
Let's have as a back of our mind that these kidnappers are somebody's husband, boyfriends, even girlfriends, sisters and brothers, neighbors. Try to know what they do for a living. Let's know. When you know, you can talk. But if you don't know, I'm going to work. But at the end of the day, you don't know where the kind of work is going to. So let's put our eyes on the ground and ask ourselves, what kind of job?